If Penn State wins out and Ohio State beats Michigan, the Nittany Lions will be headed to Indianapolis for the Big Ten Championship. Some fans took the celebration too far, again, back in State College after the game. Art and engineering have come together as the high-flying performers build structures out of blocks. With all the creepy clown incidents around the country this fall, Target is pulling clown costumes and masks from all its stores. Several players from the Pittsburgh Pirates are taking a break from baseball today. Palmer died last week at the age of 87. Fellow golfers and the public are at the service. There is hope that the new trees will continue a tradition. The group held a sit-in protest against what it calls racial inequality and police brutality. The Peters Township High School varsity dance team went straight through to finals with a high score of 94.6 in the preliminary round against 31 teams in their division. Dawn is still months away, but hundreds gathered in University Park over the weekend at a kickoff event for the dance marathon. Receiving the Golden Football and the return of Matt Suey is not only a big deal to the State High Little Lions, but also the entire community. Hurricane Matthew ripped through the Caribbean and then moved along the U.S. East Coast over the weekend, rushing Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and up to North Carolina. Days later, people are cleaning up and dealing with the damage, power outages, river flooding, and more. We talked with people in Centre County who have family and friends in the Carolinas and Florida. Sarah Price is a Penn State student who's from Greenville, South Carolina.
Always get, when things like this happen, we get crazy rainstorms and wind. I know my mom called and she said it didn't hit quite as hard as they expected, but she was still getting a lot of bad weather.
While Sarah's family was lucky, some of her friends did have to evacuate.
I do have a friend down in College Charleston, and they expected a lot of damage, and so she got evacuated.
Matthew has killed more than 20 people in the U.S., but it's much worse in the Caribbean island of Haiti, where nearly 400 died. We spoke to a Florida resident who has now returned to his home in Jacksonville after evacuating 30 miles inland.
Ended up leaving Thursday morning. The winds were ripping pretty hard at that point, about 50 miles an hour or so at the beach, and it's kind of like a war zone. I mean, places, were boarded up and ready for the hell.
Zawilla said the damage wasn't so bad, but lost about half of their sand dunes.
First row houses on the beach, they were taking 20-foot waves. We probably had about a 7 foot storm surge, but a lot of debris, some downed trees, and yeah, that's about it.
Serious flooding is still happening in parts of the Carolinas after up to a foot of rain fell. Hundreds of thousands are still without power and will be cleaning up for months. I'm Madeliene Maggs for the Centre County Report. Donald Trump hopes to break Pennsylvania's long-standing trend of Democratic presidential candidates winning the state. He's been visiting often. While he hasn't come through Centre County, the Republican Party has opened a headquarters here in State College on Southborough Street to compete with the efforts of Hillary Clinton's supporters. Trump and his running mate, Indiana Governor Mike Pence, have made at least 10 visits to the state between the two of them. Trump was just in Chester Township, where he blamed Clinton for the racial unrest in North Carolina.
Those peddling the narrative of cops as a racist force in our society, and this is a narrative that is supported with a nod by my opponent.
Governor Pence will be in York on Thursday. Pennsylvania has voted Democrat in the past 6 elections. It's been almost 30 years since they voted for the Republican nominee in 1988. But Hillary Clinton isn't taking any chances. She and her running mate, Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, have been here 11 times, not including the Democratic Convention in Philadelphia. CNN says Clinton has also spent around $12 million on TV advertising in Pennsylvania. That's 4 times more than Trump.
That they can be proud of us.
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
First Lady Michelle Obama will campaign for Clinton tomorrow, first in Philadelphia and then across the state in Pittsburgh. The presidential nominee that's won Pennsylvania's vote has gone on to win 8 of the last 10 elections. There are 20 electoral votes up for grabs here and only 4 other states with more. In State College, I'm Madeliene Maggs for the Centre County Report. These high school athletes are preparing for a very big event in their lives, the Quad A High School Football Playoffs. The 8-3 State College Little Lions are part of a successful athletic program, and it's one that stresses safety, especially from concussions and other serious impact injuries. Coach Lintel says it's all that matters before winning.
Safety is a first and foremost priority each and every day. Obviously, we start out preseason camp with really heavily focusing on safety. We do a tackling circuit where we really break down the proper techniques of tackling with heads-up football.
Stan Martin, an outside linebacker for the Little Lions, is out with a different type of injury, a sprained ankle. The senior explains what heads-up football means exactly and says they take preventative measures at practice.
They teach us the heads-up tackling, so that whenever you make a tackle, you have to see the ball, and then we go through, before the season starts, we go through a tackling circuit of 7 different stations where they teach us how to keep our heads up and how to properly tackle, and then we keep it low contact in practice so that we don't get the small little hits.
While football-related deaths in high schools have caught the recent attention of the media, the number of deaths over the past 35 years has remained reasonably constant, according to the Huffington Post. The National Center for Catastrophic Sport Injury Research at the University of North Carolina says the majority of direct fatalities in 2014 are attributed to tackling, helmet-to-helmet collision, warm-up drills, and other unknown activities. Since the start of the season, there have been at least 8 deaths of high school football players either during a game or at practice, according to published reports. This local team is doing everything they can to ensure the safety of their players. Coach Lintel says their kids play one side of the football, meaning the defense becomes really good at making tackles and the offense becomes really good at blocking techniques. If the players are not using proper form, they are pulled out of drills. He also says they're lucky to have a very involved medical team.
We want to make sure that our kids are safe. We're very blessed with an athletic training staff that is at every practice, that is there with us at every game.
Medical professionals and scientists at Penn State say concussions are difficult to define. However, they do know that the effects of a concussion can worsen if the brain is not given enough time to recover. Penn State's Center for Sport Concussion Research and Service is working on determining how long a patient should sit out before it's safe to go back into the game. Reporting from State College, I'm Madeliene Maggs.